Hi, Kieran. And how are you for the fourth or fifth time today? Hi, Kieran. And how are you? Hi, Chris. Welcome, Dave from BNSF N Scale. Just double checking a couple of things here. I hope you can all hear me. I was just hearing myself. Not a pleasant thing at all. All right, let's go back to this. Warning: the content of the stream is not suitable for children under the age of 16. Language, themes, attitude, and personality of the presenter was not suitable for his own children when young, and he was a permissive parent. And yet he behaved that way anyhow. Topics discussed will not center on trains and will focus on anything except politics. It just so happens trains are running. Any similarity between characters, situations, trains, and intelligent thoughts is strictly a coincidence. And any rebroadcast or transmission of this stream without the express written consent of Major League Baseball is strictly prohibited. Viewer discretion is advised. Remember the rules for layouts? Rule 1, it's your layout, do what you want. Rule 2, don't tell someone else what to do with their layout unless they ask you what they should do. And never call out, criticize, mock, make fun of another channel on your channel. Although some exceptions for Lee and his hammer will be allowed. Hey everybody, for those of you who don't know, this is my train table. I will be running trains in a few minutes. So I'm trying to keep up with who's coming in. I don't expect a lot of people because this is just sort of what it is. So I really haven't changed much of trains. I did change out a couple and move a couple around. But I have 5 cameras up, 6 if you count the one pointing at me. And to tell you a little bit about it, we will go through those cameras. They are labeled usually as cameras 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but they have names. For example, we have the station view. This is an actual reproduction of the city of Delmenhorst. Now, from this angle, you can't see it. You just see the platforms and the roofs. The roofs are lit, and they actually have speakers in them that you can hear actual station announcements that are programmed to run through them. I might want to turn my controller on so I can actually start running the trains. For those of you who don't know where at first view, whoops, trying to go through the views here. Yeah, the minute you have me in the picture, the camera's fuzzy for some reason, and then it slowly gets better. So you're probably fuzzy sounded right now. All right, so anyhow, we have the station view, and I was trying to show you where Delmenhorst is. You have the village view overlooking a temporary mock-up of the part of the city of Delmenhorst, except this is not how it actually will look. where you see the picture here in the foreground. That will eventually be where the town hall and everything is, but I haven't made it yet. We have the 11-lane view where you can see all the trains that will be running today. Once again, we have, let me get my pointer out. We have my Austrian Railjet locomotive, which is a high-speed train. We have my ICE-3, the German high-speed train. My IC-2, not ICE, just IC-2, with a 146.5 locomotive on it, is back on the layout after about a month off. And the Railjet's still going, and then my 2 diesel Lint class are on here as well. So that's about where we're at. Hey, Paul Hind. Yeah, I was temporary at Dalek. I was doing my Lee impersonation. I don't know why, but when I first log on, any of the video that has my face in it is goofy, and it takes about 10 minutes, then all of a sudden it's back to normal, and then all the pictures rule. Let me see. We then have the up the ramp view. Whoops, I'm sorry. We have the long run view heading down towards the ramp. And then this is the up the ramp view because there is about a 3 to 4 inch rise from one end of the table to the other to go up. And then this curve here leads into the station. So we go back to the station view. And of course I have the all camera view, which shows them in order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, going clockwise around your screen. Hi, Tim JD. Nice to have you here. So I'm going to go to the long view just for a minute or two. Whoops, not that view. Sorry, I'm going to go to the 11-lane view. And I will get my train started up. I just need to make sure we're all good to go. I got to turn my tablet on, so I've got my other device ready to go. But so we're going to set him in motion first. Get that Railjet going. Nice thing I love about the Railjet, he comes pre-programmed to have a, I'm going to say that naughty P word, the prototypical speed buildup. I can set it up on my IC3, but I don't. So let's get him going. Alright, so we'll get him taken off. I won't run them too fast. Dave, this is HO scale. I love N scale, and there's a part of me that would have liked to have done this in N scale, but I have all kinds of nerve damage and arthritis in my fingers, and I couldn't handle N scale. Literally, I could not pick the trains up without probably dropping them or breaking them. I get hand spasm at times where I drop things. Thank goodness I don't have babies anymore, although we'll have a grandbaby in January. All right, let's see. Let's get the next guy up and rolling. Who we looking at? Come on. And we want... Where are you? There you are. Bingo. You're on. So we're going to get him rolling, and then we're going to get that check rail jet ready to go. So this is a check rail jet. I didn't necessarily point him out. He's the same as the Austrian, but he runs under same locomotives, same type of cars, everything. He was built by the Siemens company, Taurus locomotive, but he flies, or his delivery is the Czech Republic, although now I think it's officially Czechia. So we will get him rolling here. And now, try to get my 2 diesels going. There he goes. All right, so I'm going to switch to the all scenes. So there, we've got 6 trains all in motion. Hey, Christopher, how are you? Hi, Lee. Hey, Christopher, you weren't going on tonight, right? Dave, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get everything sorted here, catch it up. Dave, this track is called, it's by a German company, it's called Märklin C-Track. And, I don't know if if this will finally get my voice going. If I'm on here, do I sound like a Dalek right now? Yes, no, do I sound like a Dalek? Is the voice good here? Okay, like I said, for some reason, because this is the camera view that creates the weird sounds, and the microphone is off, but for some reason, the first 5-10 minutes I start the stream, it creates an interference. Okay, so anyhow, Dave, I was talking about Märklin C-Track. It looks a little like Atlas Easy Track. There is a difference, though. C-Track, first of all, I run a very rare type of track, especially in America, unless you do G scale. I run 3-rail, AC 3-rail, AC power 3-rail track. So if you look at this curve here, it's pre-bedded. In other words, it has the ballast on it. It's not exactly prototypical, although in Germany there are many areas that have this dark gray to black ballast. All right, so it's pre-bedded, and it's got the 3rd rail down the middle. But what makes this track amazing, and why I use it even if it's not realistic as other track is, and this company makes a realistic style of track called K-Track, is that you do a lot less wiring with this. You don't have to run as many drop wires like you would on DC or DCC track. A lot less drop wiring, a lot less wires having to come through your table or your layout. All the wiring goes in underneath. Any wiring you'd have to do, and you have to do a lot less wiring to begin with. But let me get the turnout here. But here's a turnout or a point. People argue the terms. I tend to say turnout, but some people call it a point or a switch. But this is a C-Track turnout. In 5 minutes, I can have this digital and on my system running digitally through my computer. Instead of having to drop wires, wire it into a bus line, and then running it and setting addresses, you put both the decoder and the motor fit underneath. They fit inside under here. You plug the power source and the decoder signals into these pins here. Set it down. It's already good to go. 5 minutes and you're in. And the price of the decoder is not any different than the price of any decoder for a switch, a point decoder, if you're going to do that. And the motor is about 20 American dollars. 25 at a lot of the shops. I get them for 20. It is a great system. I do love it, but in America, the American system is not well known. And they only do this type of track in HO scale. Now, Maryland does have regular track called K track. And let's go to watch some trains here. Maryland has regular style track that looks like any other track called K track. Well, hi, Heath. Welcome in. Oh, Paul, you need to be knighted. I now declare you moderator of this chat room. If you visit more than once, Dave, I make everybody a mod. This way they can have mod wars. And to quote Kenny Everett, I need a drinky poo. Let's see. Yeah, just going through up the ramp. So let's do station view. Where's station? Coming into the station. I want to set up an additional microphone over there so you can hear the station announcements playing. But right now I have the microphone to the camera shut off because I seem to get interference. I'm not sure why. And I control everything through, I think a lot of people are here. I control everything through the Maryland Central Station 3, which is not trying to brag or show off just because I was stupid and bought one. It's one of the high-end control systems. It's basically a laptop computer that runs, well, it's a DCC controller. Some people use the Z21 or Z21 as we call it in America. This is the Z21 on steroids. Everybody gets a spanner here. And by the way, people, Dave, if you want to post a link to your page to encourage and advertise your page, we are cool with that. Advertise your page, advertise a friend's page. If you have anything you want to say, nope, nobody's over there. Let's do the, no, everybody's coming here right now. If you have a friend's page, you can promote any page as long as it's model trains, model building related, your page, a friend's channel. Anything as long as it's not gay Puerto Rican whale porn or things like that. We don't need that here. But as I'm in so many chats because I am furloughed from work. I don't go back to work until August, mid-August. I am sitting around at home, and the last 2 weeks it has been 90 degrees or hotter, no rain. Right now we have 96 outside with 90% humidity and a 72 dew point. So it's just miserable to go outside. So I am stuck in the house watching TV, annoying my wife until she says, don't you want to go run the trains, or wouldn't you like to go live stream for a bit? Heath, when you've lived the kind of life I have, you learn about everything. The stories I would tell you would make you go bald. Well, yes, Dave, if you live in Phoenix, but up here in the north, Toledo, Ohio, we expect a couple of weeks at the end of June and into August where we'll have some 90s, some occasional thunderstorms, but end of June, early July, 2 straight weeks of 90 plus with the 90 humidity. Yeah, we don't like it up here. But before anybody gets that desert superiority, you're not up here in January when it's minus 30 and 5 inches, 8 inches of snow. Welcome, Jason. Nice of you to actually stop by. I don't really have much of a layout. I just run trains. I do have some buildings and stuff I have on my layout, but basically I build one thing a year for my layout and call it good for the year. In 2018, I built the station, and in 2019, I built the bus depot in front of the station, which you can't see here. And this year I've been trying to install the Fowler Car System, which you also can't see. I don't know if any of these, maybe the station. Yeah, with the station you can kind of see the Fowler Car System near the bus station. I just have to tweak a couple of things, and then I'll have buses running in and out of the station, dropping off passengers, picking up passengers, and pulling back out. But for now, until I can get another camera showing. Oh, so that was a wild change for you, Dave, to go from Wisconsin. So you know about the snow. All right. So you win that prize. You've gone from deep Wisconsin to Arizona. Yes, I will make a video and try to, well, let's put it this way. Rule 1, I actually do have a close-up, and you can actually see the buses running on the Model Train Outsider episode 39 and episode 40. On my Model Train Outsider series, yes, my episodes tend to be long because, well, I got nothing better to do. But I do have chapter points in my videos so that you can kind of skip ahead. But you would see my bus system in action and with close-ups. Also in various videos, for example, episode 37 or 38 was the premiere of my bus station. Tim JD asks, what part of the layout did you first, and did you have it all planned out right from the start? Yes and no. I had it all planned out from the start, but I changed the plans many, many times. If you, and I'll go back to the layout again. I know, well, if you look real close, you'll see the train still rolling in the video. If you look at it this way, it kind of looks like a big letter C or U, maybe a block N. I don't know. Originally, where you see me, the video of me and this control area, my first thought was that this would be the station and the city of Delmenhorst, and then I'd just have two narrow wings, so it would be more like a E instead of a U. But I just could not fit it in, and I wanted a central command station. Instead of sitting on one side or the other, I wanted a central command station. And so I've got a TV right in front of me here so I can kick back. I got a recliner behind me so I can take my tablet, sit in the recliner, watch TV, and control my trains. I also got a wet bar behind me with a refrigerator. So, yeah, this is the perfect man cave for a train table. But so that changed the design to this big C. Then I was going to do 2 levels. There was going to be a lower level to this, and I was going to have a helix. And we just decided we could not fit the helix in, and plus, since this layout takes up all the main room of this part of the basement, I took out a couple of closets that were once down here. I had to rebuild this whole basement after a flooding issue, and I rebuilt it myself. Technically, my wife and kids helped, but, you know, it was sort of like, hold this for me. Although my kids are pretty good at putting up drywall. I've trained them well. But we took out a couple of closets, and we don't have a lot of space. So a lot of stuff that was in the closets is now under the table, and that took away, along with no room for the helixes, that took away room to build a double layer. So what it is, it's just 3 full circuit lanes. Nothing is prototypical here. We don't have branch lines and main lines, heritage lines. I just have 3 long lanes that go completely around the table to represent the 3 tracks that go into Delmenhorst, which actually condensed down to 2 on the way to Bremen or on the way to Oldenburg. And then I have a big circular area because I'm not so much about layout as I am about how many trains can I run. Maybe you call it ADHD. Let's go to the all view. So to me, it's just about running trains. So I am less about, I want this to look like the countryside or an alpine meadow with a couple of trains running through. To me, it's less about the scenics and how many trains could I run. So that's why you have this totally unpredictable and unprototypical 11-lane area. If you see my hand here in picture 3, this area here. But boy, when all 6 trains are coming through there at one time, it's pretty frickin' cool. Clinchfield Model Railroad N scale, welcome. Yes, it's the Central Station 3. Hey, March West, I didn't see you come in. Clinchfield, I'm going back and catching questions. The Central Station is in English. They have a couple of areas where a couple of the tabs are still in German, but you'd recognize the symbol anyhow. But yeah, it's in English, and 98% of my instructions throughout the different parts of it are in English. Again, I do want to add another camera where you could see my control area. I've shown it a couple of times, and it is in my videos. So no, I personally think the Central Station 3 is the best control system out there if you're going to run digital, because it doesn't have to work with German trains. You can run all your, if you're American, you can run all your American N scale. If you run UK 00, it's all in there. The databases are in there. You just got to have them chipped. I mean, technically you can run them without chips. I prefer fries myself. Sorry, bad pun. And of course, in England, chips and fries are this, well, what we call fries, they call chips. But anyhow, in my opinion, now again, I'm biased, Heath. I haven't run a Zemo. Long time ago, I drank one before they stopped making them. But yeah, I mean, Central Station 3, the biggest fight people can put up with is the E-costs. And again, you can combine your Central Station 3 with any of the computer programs or Digitrax or any of that, the Railmaster Gold series or whatever, any of those computer. You can run that through the Central Station to control everything. But everything you can do with a Z21, you can do with a Central Station 3, for those of you who've had the Z21 or Z21. Hi, Melvin. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, for those of you still asking about the Fowler Car System, here's what happened in as short a time as I can explain it. Do I have? The Fowler Car System, in its basic form, is really easy. You have a metal wire, and then you have a car that is battery operated, and the car has 3 key parts to it. The Fowler car has 3 key parts. It has a metal magnetic ski on the front end, which grabs the metal wire. Inside, you have the motor
and you have what's called a reed sensor, R-E-E-D, reed sensor. The third important part is the magnet. But you don't have to put the magnet on. So you can take that wire and put it into any layout anywhere. And if all you want is moving vehicles, that's all you need, the wire and the car. Now the cars are expensive, anywhere from $80 to $150. You could probably go out and buy your own metal wire, but they specifically say you should use their wire because somehow it's made to work best with the cars. Whatever. Okay. But if you want the stuff, if you want your cars to do something more, such as stop at red lights and have traffic patterns, you have to add motors and modules. So here's how it works. The motors are magnetic field generator motors. So, and they have three types of motors. I'm only going to talk about two. There is the branch-off motor, which causes your car to change lanes, to either take a right-hand turn or a left-hand turn. That's called the branch-off motor. It usually has a signal that lasts 1 second, and if it's turned on, your car will take a right-hand turn or a left-hand turn instead of continuing to go straight. Then there's what they call the stop motor. The stop motor can be set anywhere from 5 seconds to 45 seconds. And the stop motor is used with bus stops. So the vehicle will go in, it sets off an electromagnetic pulse, which shuts down the little micro keyboard circuit board that's inside that the reed sensors connect to. So it shuts it down. So when you want to have a bus stop, you activate the turn motor so it pulls into the bus lane, and then the stop motor is activated and the bus stops and stays there for as long. And then the magnetic field turns off and the bus turns back on and goes. All right. Now to control all this digitally, you have to have what are called modules. You can leave those all permanently on, but they'll permanently keep turning. So if you want like some cars to turn and some cars to go straight, you need the modules. And what happened is I bought this really deluxe module that said, hey, plug everything into this. I had it all working except for one thing. All my vehicles were turning into the bus station, and I only wanted the buses to turn. So you have to buy what's called a sensor. The sensor plugs into a module, and it turns the motor on and off instead of just leaving the motor on. I'm talking fast, I'm sorry. So anyhow, when I started plugging things into the module, one of my switch motors died, branch motors died, and half of them were not working through the module. They would work straight powered, but they would not work through the module. So that screwed me up for a couple of weeks. I had to order more parts. I apparently got a bad bunch of sensors, which screwed everything up worse. And so now I've got it where the bus stops work correctly again, but I still have to direct power the branch motors from the outer traffic to get the buses to turn in, and I don't want to do that. I want them operating digitally instead of me having to turn the motors on and off. So that's where we're at. Probably doesn't make sense unless you see it in action. But if you go watch my video on Bus Stop Buzz, video 39 or 40, yeah, it's more explained in there. So, yeah, eventually the Fowler Car System will be on display. I'd have to get another camera. But, yeah, you will see it. You can go see my videos and see it in action. Let's see. Let's go. Up the ramp. Because I still got this windmill that has been sitting here for 2.5 years waiting for me to fix the motor in it. Because the windmill will actually work. The windmill part actually spins around, and that's got another motor that causes it to kind of go in circles. Actually, Heath, all my videos are numbered. All my videos are numbered. They're episode 1, episode 2, episode 3. And then I do two separate shows. So there is the darn it, trying to keep up with the trains and I'm talking. And then there's the Merklin show, and I keep these shows separate. So the Merklin shows are separate because I have some people that only watch my channel for the Merklin shows. Literally a third of my subscribers are friends and family. A third of my subscribers watch strictly for my Merklin stuff. And then the other third are just people that come to my channel and are apparently mental masochists and just love to be abused with the stupidity I put on this channel. But yeah, all my episodes are titled, so you kind of know what's in there. The episodes like 11 through 20 were me building this particular current version of the table. 21 through 30 was me just messing about with doing things. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of information out there, and there's not a lot of time. If you subscribe to a lot of channels, let me turn that motor off. He's loud. Anybody like Diesel? I might turn the two Diesel guys' sounds on. Oops, wrong one. Those are loud. Yes, I did put the steamer away. Those are so loud. And they're not nearly as loud as they sound, but they're still loud. Hey, Jerry. Nice to see you, sir. Hope you are well. Yeah, it's going to be weird when I finally go back to work after, I mean, literally, I've been out of work since March 23rd was my last day at work. And for at least a month of that, I literally went nowhere. I stayed in the house. I went outside, maybe started early work on the yard stuff, but we have a small yard. It doesn't take long to do that. And of course, small is a relative term. But my wife, because I had the back injury back in December, and I have a whole bunch of exercises I'm supposed to be doing every morning to keep the back and the sciatic nerve under control. I have exercises and stretches I have to do each morning. I have all kinds of, I have been able to finally, beginning, first week of June, my wife started to get me out riding bike and actually playing tennis. Now, I'm 6'3", and in January, I weighed 280 pounds. Now I weigh 257. I've lost about 23 pounds in the last 2-3 months because my doctor said I better lose some weight. Dave left. Hey, Kenneth, how are you, sir? Whoops. Welcome to my channel. I'm always just a little behind. All right, Dave, anyhow, if you're just leaving, thank you for stopping by, and maybe you'll stop back again. So, yeah, and then it's just been so hot. My wife and I actually were getting up like 6:30 in the morning to go play tennis. just so we could beat the heat, but it's been ridiculous. And then in the evening, my wife takes me for walkies. You British guys, UK guys can laugh at that. My wife takes me for walks in the evening because, I guess she wants me to stick around a few more years. Hey, ASGWR, who someday will actually give us a real name that we can call him by instead of just all these initials. I'm just going to start calling you Bob. 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 I'll say it the way Blackadder did. Rowan Atkinson. Bob. He actually has a speech impediment which causes him to say it that way. He struggles with the letter B. He has a tick when he says the letter B. Bob. Bob. But if anybody's ever tuning in, trying to find a really cool or fancy layout, that's not what I have happening here. I'm going to adjust the camera real quick. There, that's a little better. And guys, when I say that, I'm not looking for compliments. It's just because I know where my layout will be in some future year. I just have a bunch of my wargaming stuff and things thrown on it just to make it look like it's not there. The buildings you see, as I've mentioned every video, were rescued from garbage dumps and garage sales and such, and a lot of them I fixed up and painted. Some were new model kits that I put together, and but it just kind of gives a little life. But again, if you're new, I'm here about... Hey Mark, how are you? Hey Kenneth, yeah, I actually we call this, let me come in large. Yes, I have 5 lanes here. This is not prototypical. Rivet counters, as we call them in English. The guys that are perfectionists, they would look at this, go, you would never see that anywhere. No, you wouldn't, but you see it on my layout because that's what I like. So Paul, you're new here. Hey Mark, I think I said hi, but just in case, I'll say hi again. So here we go with the layout map again, guys. I have 3 loops, tracks that completely circumnavigate the table, and then I have 2 additional loops that run actually 3 additional loops that run on the right hand side of the table over here. But my station is prototypical. My station is the actual station from the city of... Oh, it did not? I'm sorry. Oh. Yeah, sorry, I forgot to put the mic in on that map. The mic is not activated on that map. Oops. I'll fix that later. So yeah, you didn't hear any of that. Yeah, my station is based in Delmenhorst, which I showed you on that map. It's actually it is 100% completely scratch-built recreation of the city of Delmenhorst. Again, I don't have pictures of it. I'm going to try to put some pictures up on here. Let's go back to the 11 lane. Hey, Andrew Turnridge, how are you? All you UK guys, it's getting to your bedtime. It's after 10 o'clock over there. But it's nice to have you here. See, my problem is I stick this on one view for a while, and then suddenly all the trains are gone. I do like to mix them up so you can see some of the things. Let's see, like up the ramp. We should have a guy coming in up the ramp right now. I am running my trains a little slower than they might actually go, but that way you can actually see them. But I have ridden on the ICE3 there at 280 kilometers an hour. It can go 300. I was on it when it was doing 280 kilometers an hour. And the long run, you can see that rail jet going through. Now, if you guys have been on my live streams, and 2 weeks ago, I would have never imagined I would be doing a 7th live stream in 2 weeks, but literally, I'm bored. If it were cooler, I'd be outside, sitting in the yard, going for a walk, what have you. But, yeah, it's way too hot and humid to be outside right now. 97... Yeah, 97 now, 91% relative humidity, 72% dew point, and anything over 60 in the dew point is yucky. My wife is a big weather person. She's a science teacher, and she's a big weather person. She's really into weather. And we used to always complain about the humidity, and my wife's like, it's not the humidity, it is the dew point. It's not the humidity, it's the dew point. All I know is it's miserable. Hey, King Fox Junction. How are you, sir? Oh, Kenneth, I'm hearing a lot of people from the UK and Europe talking about having rain all day. Hey, pray to your gods and send it to us, because we are in massive drought conditions here in Toledo, Ohio. We shouldn't be in droughts. We're a temperate zone. And we are having just an absolute ugly, ugly heat wave too early in the summer for us. And we haven't had rain in a couple of weeks. We had one massive downpour a couple of weekends ago, and then we've had nothing since. And earliest we're expecting rain is Friday. And that's if the weather holds. I have 22 people in and 15 likes. Yeah, I've topped out at 30. My first stream had like 30 or 31. And then the others have all been 25 or less. But considering this is late evening, I'm happy with it. I mean, I'm happy if 2 people show up and actually talk, because that's all I'm going to do is talk. Let you guys check this view, because to me, this is talking to people. My wife, this is one of the reasons my wife goes for those 5-mile walks, because she gets an hour and a half away from me. Oh my God, shut up! Don't you have some trains to run? Can't you do a live stream? Leave me alone. Unless she wants to talk about her upcoming grandbaby, then I don't get the word in edgewise. Our upcoming grandbaby, but... We're going to get a little busy here in a second. What I want to do is, I don't want to spend the money for a GoPro, but I would like to get a small. I really wish they found a way for the Polaroid Cube to do Wi-Fi, where I could stick it on here and actually have a Wi-Fi, so I could do a cab view with my train during the live stream. That would be cool. I know some guys have it. There's also locomotives that have the camera in it, but I don't own one of those. My friend Steve does. Now that's the nice thing. I've got peripheral vision here. If she's coming, I'll see her coming, and I'll hear her coming on the stairs. I don't know what view gives you the best view of that. Nah, not this one. All you see is me in the laundry room. That one you just see me and a lot of trains when they're on this part of the layout. Let's go back to long run. We got some guys coming through there. But yeah, if you have any questions or anything, let's see. Yes, Kieran, my daughter could be on. I doubt it at this point. She's probably making dinner at her house. But you never know. She could be on. I've had more and more of my former students have started coming in and on. I don't allow current students to know my internet presence, my social media presence. But former students, especially ones I've taken to Germany, have stayed in contact with me for years. I mean, I've got some students I talked to that I taught 20, 25 years ago, and they still talk to me on Facebook and such. No, that daughter is not much of a knitter. Ian, my Fowler Car System is back where it was before I screwed it up, but I still have to get it to that final stage. I'm hoping to feature it. I should have worked on it today. I had no reason not to, other than I went to live streams all day. I started with Chris in the morning and then Lee immediately, because I was going to go on after Chris, and all of a sudden Lee said, I'm going to go live. I said, okay, go live. No big deal. And then Lee ended, and Jack Benton Road did a live stream. And then my wife and I took off and did some running and shopping we had to do today. And then we came back, and somebody else had a live stream. Then Tim at FMR had a live stream. And then when he ended, my wife looked at me with eyes saying, get out of the living room. And so I came down and did a live stream. Actually, but again, going back to that, Chris, my wife is the one who's going to be knitting everything for the baby. My oldest daughter, the one who's pregnant, she can knit. I don't know what her... I think she's pretty good. I'm a really bad father because right now I'm not thinking, is she that good? She is so artistic, but that's just it. She does other things. She does needlepoint, crochet, and that's her business. She makes signs, decals, stickers, which she does them for a city and a university south of here. She makes all their traffic signs and all their signs for the university and that. She makes all that. But she now does it from home as opposed to in her old shop. She had to close her shop down. And she also no longer makes the big metallics light up signs because she had to shut her main business down. She needed a new truck because the truck she had was no longer safe. And she tried to get a small business loan, and the bank turned her down, even though they should have. And she was just like, well, I can't keep doing business. I've got 6 workers that sit around half the time because we can't get the truck out. And she'd have to rent trucks to finish the job, so she wasn't making any money. So she finally closed that part of the business down. But now she does vinyl signs, window signage, car signs, and stuff like that. Hey Ray, welcome to the feed again. Boy, I've been on this one for a while. Let's go to all view. That way you can kind of see them everywhere. But in the night, in the bright side, it's going to take a couple of years, but I'm going to have a grandbaby that I can finally brainwash and maybe convince them to want this train set when I pass on. Because I assume if I die tomorrow, it's on eBay next Monday. And that's kind of, I guess I do wish I had gotten into model trains younger where this was a hobby I could share and pass on with the kids. All my kids. Now, we had hobbies and things we did together, wargaming and things like that, but now that I'm into trains, I think my kids would have liked it, and all their creative sides with building and drawing and helping design and all that would have been awesome. Hey, Jackie. Heath, do you really want to leave New York and come to a rinky-dink city of 300,000 in the Rust Belt of America? I love Toledo, but I have tried to move out of Toledo 5 times in my life, and I keep coming right back to it. Toledo's it's like a disease. You're born with it, and you can't get it out of you. Although somebody did, because I am 56, and when I was 6, Toledo had a population of about 450,000 people. Now it's maybe 300,000. So we've lost a third of the city's population in the last 50 years. We used to have major corporations here. Champion Spark Plugs, you Americans, if you know Champion Spark Plugs, they were here, and then they moved to Arkansas. We had Owens Corning Fiberglass, and now only the headquarters is here. We had Libby Glass. Toledo was called the glass capital of the world because more glass and glass products were made here in Toledo than any other city in the world. But now I think you get a few beer mugs are made in Toledo, and that's it. Libby makes all their glass in a factory in Wisconsin now, or they import it from Mexico. Hello, Christian. Would I call it Rona? Christian Rona? Yeah, Andrew, the great thing about where you're at now, though, is, yes, the pandemic has shut a lot of things down, but those 2 seasons of Great American, oh my God, the Great Model Railway, I'm sorry, I'm an American, we're used to putting great in front of it, Great American. No, the Great Model Railway Challenge, you saw such a huge burst of interest and young people at all the shows, at least the big shows. I just saw channel after channel, video after video of people talking about how crowded they were after that show the last, year and a half, the 2 seasons of that show. But at least in Germany and the UK, trains are a part of your life. You live in a town, you might have a train station, passenger trains go through. For a lot of American kids, trains are a pain in the butt stoppage. You're trying to hurry to school, and you got to wait for the train. So we're not exposed to trains, especially through the heartland of the U.S., outside of a few freight trains. And most of you are into freight trains, I know. But we just don't have that day-to-day exposure of life with trains. The people that are most into trains, it came through family. Ray here, his dad did a layout. Whose dad did a layout, and it gets passed on. My dad had a model train, and it's probably worth a fortune. I never saw it. All I know, it was in a box that he kept in a crawl space, and I was not allowed to touch it. He had his porn magazines and his trains there. Now, how did I know it was there? Because I was a kid. If you have a hidden space, I'm going to find it and investigate it. He also had his Korea military uniform. My dad fought in Korea, and get my dad to talk about fighting in Korea. He lost part of his eye in Korea. I mean, he was blinded with it from that point on. But my dad fought in Korea. But get my dad to talk about his time in Korea? Nope. His uniform was in a box, sealed away. My dad had so much stuff that he just locked up and don't go near it, don't touch it. So whenever my dad wasn't around and my mom wasn't around, you snuck in to look at what else they had hidden. Hey, Benton Road, how are you, Jack? It's past your bedtime, young man. Did I miss any questions? Now, I did have a gentleman from Switzerland who said he might come into one of my streams and wanted to hear me speak in German. Ich spreche fließendes Deutsch, aber es ist ein gemischtes Deutsch. 3 von meiner Großeltern waren in Deutschland geboren und dann sind nach Amerika ausgewandert. Ich habe Deutsch als Junge gelernt und dann in der amerikanischen High School gelernt und dann an der Universität studiert. Und dann habe ich vor 20 Jahren kein Deutsch gesprochen. Und dann eines Tages sagen meine Kollegen mir, möchten Sie Deutsch lernen? Und ich habe ja gesagt. Now, if you have no idea what I said, that's cool. If you do speak German, you know what I said, I think. Jackie, I forgot to turn the game on down here. I turned it off at halftime at 2-1 and came down here. Did they blow it? Because they got up 2-0. I'm like, yeah, Mo Salah. Yeah, Jordan with an assist from Mo Salah. Yes, and then they start playing like crap. So, yeah, how did they finish? Hey, Rachel. Hi there. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, Ray, I think you're hearing me talk about. My dad fought in Korea. His older brother flew bombers in World War II and was stationed in Berlin after the war, did the Berlin airlift, where he met his German wife and married her and brought her and her family over to the United States after World War II. My grandfather fought in the trenches of World War I. My great-grandfather fought in the Western Wars, the U.S. Cavalry. His dad fought in the Civil War. We had a lot of dodges in the Civil War. And, of course, then there's my distant cousin Reuben, who managed to go missing in action every major battle of the Civil War. I think you heard me talking about that. It's absolutely hilarious. We have his military records from the Civil War. And my distant cousin Reuben, Battle of Shiloh, Reuben Dodge, missing in action. 3 days later, Reuben Dodge reported for duty. Battle of Gettysburg, Reuben Dodge reported missing in action. A week later, Reuben Dodge reporting for duty. I think Reuben saw all the troops marching north and or west, and he marched 90 degrees the other way. Yeah, guys, I'm just going over here to get a good view of the enemy. Reuben is a great joke in our family. Reuben Dodge. Maybe he literally got caught up in the battle and got lost behind enemy lines or something like that. But yes, literally every major battle, missing in action on roll calls the day after the battle, and then anywhere from 2 days to a week later, he shows up again. But he was never court-martialed, he was never shot or hung. never accused or tried for cowardice in battle or anything like that. So I want to go back in time and see that. If there is an afterlife, I want it to be a video replay. And I want to go back and see this distant cousin Reuben, because I want to see how he explained that. Well, General, you told us to march towards the enemy, and, well, my enemy's in Michigan, so I march that way. Good night, Jack. Oh, Panzer tank mech. Haha. Hey, Simon! I missed you coming in. Or maybe I said hello and forgot, but just in case. Hi, Simon! I'm sorry you're feeling bad, man. I hate to hear that. So, yeah, Reuben is the one. I mean, I know about Grenville and my great-great-grandfather and all those guys fighting, but Reuben's the funny one. I want to be a fly on the wall and hear a conversation between him and his commanding officer. Reuben, you're late 7 days. Where have you been? The battle's been over for a week. Well, I just kept chasing the enemy, sir. They were running away, and I was like running after them. I didn't hear you tell us to come back. I just kept chasing them, and they kept running. And then one day I was chasing them, and they stopped, and they turned around, and they pointed their guns at me. And I said, oh, shit, and turned around and came back. Reuben, the 81st Ohio Infantry Regiment, I think it was 81st, 30th Infantry Corps. Yes, indeed, that would have been the same motors. Volkswagen made a lot of those motors, and after the war, they had to put them in something, so they put them in Volkswagens. Hey, John A. Dawson came in. I don't think I said hello to you. Hello, sir. But yeah, I'm just killing time. Like the title says, I'm bored. Sometimes I'd have a home rebuilding project, and I don't even have one of those to keep me busy. I've rebuilt most of this house myself, and I've got one more room to do, and that's my wife and I's bedroom. But we got to save up to do that, because I have to. We have our own bathroom. We've got what they call an ensuite. We have master bedroom with ensuite, or simply a master ensuite. We have our own shower, bath, and toilet. Sounds fancier than it is. But I'm going to have to gut all that, and I know the plumbing behind the walls is atrocious. And I know that's going to take a lot of work, and when we pull up the carpeting to put in better flooring, I know there's going to be a lot of things I'll have to fix there. So I need to save up. All right, Ray, thanks for stopping by. And March West is leaving. Hey, thanks for stopping by, March West. Oh, good. We won 3-1. Thank you. Yeah, I had to scroll back. I missed things. Yes, indeed. 2 buckets. Yes, Kieran, you shouldn't be looking at G-gauge. You should not be looking at G-gauge. G-gauge is not for you. G-gauge is for many people. Now, if you want a big, beautiful locomotive to put on a shelf in a room, then buy yourself a G-gauge and say, ooh, isn't that pretty? But otherwise, 00, N scale, maybe O scale if you want a big locomotive. But Unless you've got a massive house or a massive yard. Or you're just insane. Avoid G-scale. There's nothing wrong with G-scale. Nothing wrong. They're beautiful. I'm just telling Kieran. I didn't say all people should avoid it. I'm saying Kieran should avoid it. No, Paul. I don't want to start a scale war here. No, I think G-scale is awesome. Just Kieran shouldn't be doing it. Yeah. I don't know if you guys do that in England when you sell homes and apartments and such like that. But yeah, in America, we don't do it officially anymore, although some people still do. The 2.5 bath. A half bath means it has a toilet and no shower. See, in America, a bathroom has to have a toilet and either a shower or a tub. That's a full bathroom. It has to have both. Now, like in Germany, you have the toilet or the water closet, and then you have the shower, and they may not even be in the same room. But in America, we stick our toilets and our showers right next to each other. I remember the first time I had German guests in my house, they found that a little awkward that the toilet was literally a foot away from the tub, 1.5 feet away from the tub. Hey, I'll take that, Andrew. If I can rank up that I am drawing even with John Warner's new video, I'll take that as a compliment. Paul is never going to forgive me now. I feel like I'm going to be John Lennon having to defend what I said. I'll go into Jimmy Stewart. No, that's not exactly what I said. Or maybe Sean Connery. Bond. James Bond. All right, Blofeld. Yep, G-scale is 45 millimeter gauge. 45 millimeter gauge. I was in a club for a while with a gentleman that did G-scale. He had a giant room in a giant house, and he had just like 2 tracks of G-scale going around with a couple of sidings. What do you want to call those areas where a train would pull off to the side? I call them sidings because that's what you're doing. The train is moving over to the side. And then a station on the other side of the room. It was just a big loop in this ballroom. So we had an interior inside the house G-scale. Probably 30 foot, 40 foot long one way and about 20 foot wide the other. This gigantic big room that was just his layout room. He probably makes more money in a year than I made in my life. A passing loop. I'll bet that's not the American term. No, I don't know. Bada bing, bada boom, bada bow. Start up, you. Let's see. We've been on this view for quite a while. Let's see. 11 lane view, and not much happening there. So we're going to hit village view. We haven't shown that, so nobody's there now, but there will be a few guys coming in about 10-15 seconds. That's the only negative of my HO scale with the size of the table. This is a huge room. I do not ever want to insult anybody's intelligence. This is just not the best use of space with an HO scale layout. I know most of you, if you had this space, would be much more creative and have amazing stuff, but the one thing I wanted to build was that Delmenhorst station and a section of the city of Delmenhorst, and that means I had to set it up this way. But yeah, this is not the best use of space. And it was also stupid because I have areas I can't reach. I have to stand over a chair or lean over I've got a three-step ladder, and I have to lean over and reach to get some things at times. And I have points that aren't motorized yet. They're not digital or motorized yet, so I have to use a stick to reach them. All right, let's go long run, because we got a couple of guys coming in there in the long run. Love that Czech railjet. Such a pretty blue. Oh, for goodness sakes. I did not ask for Google Hangouts to start up. I didn't even ask for Google to start up. What is your major malfunction, soldier? Yeah, I need G-gauge in here. Hey, if they make a G-gauge ICE3, I'm in. But within an hour after I bought it, my wife kills me. I can't imagine what the cost of... Isn't G-gauge pretty much all steam and some diesel? Well, sadly... Well, wait. Chris, if you're talking to me... Oh, Andrew, let's see, which, the blue and white one, that will be, well, let's go 11 lane view. Yeah, this blue and white one, that is the Czech railjet. I don't know if you just heard a big boom, but apparently the projection that, we're not going to have rain till Friday, maybe a couple of days wrong, because that sounded like either something blew up outside or a big bolt of thunder. Who's buffering? I'm not buffering. Oh, yeah, that's buffering. Uh-oh, I think I just left live stream. Yeah, I don't know. Huh. Am I still... Yeah, definitely buffering. I'm getting a warning here from YouTube that says the stream health isn't very good. And I'm using OBS, so I can't reboot like that. I don't know, can I reboot? Yeah, like I said, we just, apparently we got a nasty thunderstorm going on outside. It just broke out. Now it looks okay. Yeah, we just had 2 big blasts of thunder. Hey, Joyce, can you come here? I'm scared. Mother! Mother!
Awfully close. It's okay.
There you go.
There's room for you too.
Oh, hey, the rain has come. Yay, 3 days early, 4 days early. Bye, it was nice seeing you again. I feel so much better now. They're talking me into going G stage, dear. Skipping right over O and going to G. You know, where one locomotive is like $2,000 and we just knock out a couple of holes. We can fit it in down here. That was the missus. Crazy, man. Although I wonder if my voice is Dalek right now because it's kind of like a reboot. Where is it? Oh, darn it, it's not here. Darn it, my hammer's on the other side of the table here, so I'd make a hammer joke right about now. Uh-oh. Wow, it just... my own phone shut me off. But somewhere in there, Andrew, that blue was the Czech Railjet. My metronome, the one, I don't know if Andrew's still here, he may have left. John, I will be pushing with all my might. I know how dry you guys are up there in Niagara Falls as well. Niagara Falls is one of my favorite places on the planet Earth. I have been there, about 13, 14, 15 times. I love Niagara Falls. Get away from Clifton Hills, tourist trap stuff, and just walk down to the falls. It never gets old. No, GWR, we are having massive lightning and thunder blast here, so it caused my phone and system to reboot here. I was surprised it still came on. But yeah, I was talking about my metronome. The problem with the metronome is the car. I have to order, and I just haven't done it because I get them from Germany, and I usually just make a list of stuff I want to order from Germany, and then when it's worth the order, I do it. But I just have to buy a new coupling or two because I have one car that just seems to have the wrong coupling, and once I get the right coupling in, I'm sure its problems will end. It's just got a coupling that won't connect properly, so it disconnects, it doesn't send the signal through, and it causes the car to mess up on points even when it's not going through a point. It's just a bad coupling. Yeah, you guys are looking at the station, nothing's happening, but hey, let's get this view. This one might be cool. Other than it's a fuzzy camera, it's not my best. Well, actually it is. It's one of the Logitechs. Two trains coming into the station at the same time, and the railjet coming through. I'll actually be making trains stop at the station at times once I get a mic over there where you can hear all the station announcements and everything. All right, Kieran, fine. You go ahead and look on Hattons instead of watching my live stream. I understand. It's fine. Be that way. But yeah, this is nuts here. Yes, Chris, I have been over the falls in the barrel and have never been caught for it. So now that you know that secret, I'm afraid you'll have to be liquidated. Oh, sure, Kieran. You're just saying that so I don't unmoderate you. Yeah, we're down to 11 now because, well, it's everybody in the UK's bedtime, and in America it's pretty much dinner time. Well, it's not quite 6. My family and my wife's family, we grew up 6 o'clock was dinner time, the American dinner or supper time. I know in some countries dinner and supper are two different things. In America, dinner and supper, same thing. Simon steps in. Yeah, I'm looking at Hattons and at Gauge Master at the same time.
We had to do a rescue operation.
Oh.
Mom has the picture. We didn't close the umbrella.
Oh. Oops. Uh-oh. Hang on. Let's see if we can share this with the world. Let's go. I'll go with the Ace review. There. Smile, you're on TV. Oh, yikes.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. This is my deck. I don't know if you could see, but that is a table. That is our deck table that is over the railings. I'm thrilled that those railings I built held on to that, because that is not a light table.
The table's fine. The umbrella's bent.
The umbrella is bent. Yeah, the green shield in the background. That, my friends, is freaking nuts. This storm exploded out of nowhere. 1 minute, yeah, we're not going to see rain till Friday. And then, bam, that's just how unstable and crazy the air is. So, John Dawson, yeah, you can have this now. He's in Niagara Falls. John Dawson is in Niagara Falls. My wife loves thunderstorms in Niagara Falls. She loves to hear thunderstorms over the falls.
Very, very cool. A big boom in the canyon.
Yeah. You got guys for that station. All right, see, what you guys call dinner, we call lunch. So yeah, I built that deck out of cedar wood. So I'm gonna pat myself on the back and said I must have built it pretty good for it to have supported the weight of that table getting blown over it. But yeah, that's crazy. Oops. Hey, Sparky, welcome. Hey, Pascal, welcome back. Nice to see you all. Well, thank you for taking a minute and stepping in to say hi, Sparky. We just had an explosion out of the blue thunderstorm. We weren't supposed to see rain, and we finally, after 2 weeks, just it's probably not going to do enough, but it's something. My grass will be happy. How are you, Pascal? Okay, so Damien, you're in northern New Jersey. How close to Philadelphia? I know Philadelphia is Pennsylvania, but suburbs of Philadelphia stretch into New Jersey. Are you more Atlantic City north, or are you more Newark towards Philadelphia? Okay, the castle in the middle of this screen is the famous Fairytale castle Neuschwanstein in Bavaria, Germany. It was actually built in the 1860s by the king of Bavaria at the time named Ludwig II. People not from Bavaria will sometimes call him Ludwig or Louis the Crazy, but if you say that in Bavaria, they will smack you. They do not like their beloved little king. But Ludwig was an interesting character, and he bankrupted his family fortune building castles all over England, and this was his greatest creation. Or all over England? All over Bavaria. Building castles all over Bavaria. That didn't sound good. Time out, kids. What was that? Holy cow, guys. Sounds like something was coming through the ceiling. Holy cow. What a house. What a house today. Yeah, my wife was doing her yoga and fell. I thought yoga was supposed to be gentle, soft moves. Oops. But anyhow, to quickly finish that, he built this castle to be a fairy tale representation of Germanic fairy tales and fables that he grew up with. And really, he built it to literally be a stage, like a 3D castle out of the Middle Ages, where famous German plays about the Germanic myths could be performed. And the funny thing is, this place makes more money than any other place in Germany. And at the time, they deposed him, and he actually died mysteriously. But they deposed him after this was like the last castle he was building. They deposed him and locked him in a tower, and then he mysteriously drowned swimming, they claimed. Except he hated swimming. And, no, check that. He was an excellent swimmer, but they claimed he drowned swimming. But there is a hidden doctor's report that some guy published years ago that was an autopsy of the king and said he had 2 bullet holes in his back, which might explain how he drowned. But anyhow, but he was declared insane for building all these castles and ignoring his job. And he bankrupted his family, but this thing has made a fortune in the 130 years, 40 years since it was built. But that was Ludwig II, and the Disney castle is modeled on that castle as well. Hey, we actually got up to, I saw a high of 27 people at one point on this chat. The fact that we're back up to 21 is amazing. Although half of you are in the UK and will probably be going to bed any minute now. But I'm not going to chase you off. And it's nice to have Jerry here. And it's actually... Yeah, yep, call time out on live stream. I do it all the time when I have to walk away. The nice thing is, Sparky, my system, I can actually walk away from it. The Central Station 3, if a train derails with the Maryland system and my Central Station 3, if a train derails, if any train derails, there's an automatic shutdown. It shuts all my track down immediately. If a train hits a point wrong, gets bumped off at a point, it shuts everything down automatically. And you'd say, well, in a way, that's kind of not cool because you might get shut down all the time. Well, no, it's the efficiency of the system that, A, it protects itself, and B, they're quality trains, even though the C track that you see me with isn't the most popular. Hey, speaking of which, I have to do something real quick. There. I didn't have the taillights on my check rail jet. That's right, Sparky. You did say, I wasn't planning on going over your stream anyhow, but I know you did say that you were taking a couple of Wednesdays off here. I would never say I have the cheapo track. In fact, I think the track I have is the best track you can get. It's just not the P word. That horrible P word, prototypical. We don't say that word on this channel. You could say every other 4-letter, 7-letter, 6-letter, whatever cuss word you want to say on my stream. But we don't say the P word, prototypical. We don't say that word. I will speak the Queen's English. We do not speak the word prototypical here. We do not. So while this track isn't 100% prototypical, man, it's a breeze to work with. And if you build your layup around it, you hardly notice. And in Germany, there's actually areas of Germany where this is, where you will see the dark gray ballast and such. But no, this is the good stuff, man. You don't need... I mean, this big layout, and again, if you don't know my layout, I'll put the map up here. This big table, I called it a layout myself. You guys have yelled at me about not calling it a layout. I called it a train table. I don't think it's a layout yet. The track is laid out. I don't know. It's nothing prototypical about it other than the city of Delmenhorst and the bus station. Let's go to that village view here. That bus station in the background. Or here's a better view of the train station. Those are 100% accurate custom recreations I made of the city of Delmenhorst train station, which is a subterranean station. The tracks are actually above the station. The entrance and everything is below, and then you go up. And then the bus station over there. And you can see my Fowler Car System there. And then I have to mud that all over and turn it into one giant asphalt area, which is not scenically pretty, but it's accurate to the city. And then sidewalks and side streets and all that in there. Hey, Chris, thank you for stopping by. I will hopefully see you tomorrow morning on your stream. Have a good night. See you in the morning. But, yeah, this is... and somewhere down the line I have to put the catenary or catenary, as some Americans say. Have to put that up in here, but this is the only thing that is 100% authentic. And my consists are authentic. For example, an ICE will have either 8 or 9 cars. A railjet will have 8 or 9. Will have the locomotive and then 7 or 8 additional cars. The IC2. Now, like this guy coming through here, this little diesel, those run and consist of 2 or 3, but they don't sell dummy versions of it. I don't know why they don't do that. Sell a dummy version that you could attach to it and run a true consist. Like this guy coming through here. I love this. See, this is not prototypical, but 4 trains passing each other in a shot. I just marvel for those moments. That's why I stay on here, is when I can get all those trains coming in. Bye, Heath. Thanks for stopping by. I'm missing people leaving. Oh, that's right. Community Railroad's coming on soon. The absolute irony should be I should turn on Community Railroad here and watch the live stream of it here while you guys are watching me watch a different live stream. So my trains are in proper consist, at least the ones I can get there. And then my Delmenhorst station, eventually I'll be building other key buildings of Delmenhorst. So it won't be, obviously you can't build a scale version of a city, but it will be that. I'll have the main buildings in roughly proper locations. Yes, I've had both sides of the issue explained to me why catenary should go on before you ballast, and other people you should do it on after you ballast, but you want to do certain things before you ballast. Or I don't know. I have never heard a definitive statement on whether to put the catenary in first and then ballast, or ballast first and then catenary, or do them at the same time. To me, the catenary would be in the way of everything else I'm trying to do, so it should go in last. All right, Damien, thanks for stopping by. Now, see, somebody up there mentioned LGB. Mark Donegal-Dad did. LGB is owned by Meriklin, the company that makes most of my trains. LGB is owned by Meriklin. I am running my only 2 trains that are not Meriklin. My 2 rail jets are not made by Meriklin. Every other train I'm running And every other train parked is Märklin, a Märklin locomotive and a Märklin set. I do have a Brava train, locomotive, I'm sorry, not a train. I have a Brava locomotive, but I need to put that on eBay. It's only been a year, and I still haven't put it on eBay. And I did have another Pico locomotive, which I gave to a friend. Yeah, the trick, Pascal, is in doing a city, you obviously can't do a city unless you have massive space. I mean, I could have built a massive city in the middle of this and just had a couple of loops running around, and I could have done a quite impressive cityscape. I've seen a layout where they did that, where it's like, what is it, a 4-foot wide table, and they just have two main loops, main lines going around, and then a couple of branch lines or something like that going in. But then it's just a giant cityscape with just a couple of loops of trains on it, and it's amazing. It's like, I want to say it's 4 by 16 feet, 4 by 20 feet long, and they take it to some of the shows around here. Yes, that's true, Andrew. The wires are so thin in reality that in N scale, they would be thinner than a spider web, a strand of spider. Hello, learning 00 gauge. Well, if you're learning 00 gauge, you're still learning 00 gauge because this is HO gauge, but so are most of the visitors on the stream right now. Okay, long run. Got a couple of guys coming down the long run. Actually, let's go 11 lane. See, I just love shots like that where you just have so many trains coming in at one time. Yes, Pascal. HO in the UK, obviously not popular. Even though the tracks are the same size. Märklin invented HO, and within a year, a gentleman in England created 00 scale, and they were very close to each other, obviously, 176, 187. They were very close to each other. HO caught on through Europe, and we know how the UK guys are when something becomes popular in Europe. You just gotta be different. And then the German immigrants brought the HO scale to America, but Märklin actually invented the HO scale. And so the UK just never converted, even though they used the same track, which is why 00 scale trains aren't quite right. The wheelbases and the wheel sets aren't quite accurate because they have to shrink the wheelbase to fit it on HO track. Because even when it's called 00 track, it's HO. Now, I do know several companies like Pico are now making where the sleepers are properly spaced 00 scale. But the gauge, the gap between the lines, is still HO gauge. Well, Pascal, I pay 27 euros shipping, but like where I get my stuff from Germany, I get it usually in 3 to 4 days. So I just save up and wait till I save so much money that the shipping cost is eliminated. I mean, a train that would cost me $600 in the United States cost me about $470 from Germany. I get it 2 months earlier than I would get it waiting for it to show up in the States, at least 2 months earlier. So if you can imagine that, here in the United States, I order a train from Germany. That train will not be available to the American shops for 2 months. But I'll order it from Germany. I'll save a $600 train. I'll pay about $470 for it from my shop in Germany. And then $30 shipping, about 27 euros. So I save $100. So the shipping, plus I get it 2 months before I'd get it in America. And I get it in less than 5 days from Germany. I've ordered stuff where they filled the order on Monday and it was on my doorstep Wednesday afternoon. Yes, Jason. I make everybody who visits at least twice a spanner. Everybody's a spanner. It's the Oprah Winfrey effect. You get a spanner, and you get a spanner. You get a spanner. So yeah, there's about 40 people that now have spanners. Let's see, what's a good place to go? Let's do Village View. There's one guy coming through the village. But again, I just have wargaming stuff, random models I bought, panoramic pictures my wife took while we were in Germany, and I just slap them around just because it gives a little bit more life. It doesn't look great, it doesn't look good, but makes me happy, so I guess it does look good. And gradually I will start adding the things I want to add. I've built what I've built, and unfortunately there's things that need custom built, and now I'm saving up to buy a good 3D printer because, as you guys have heard me mention many times, I can't custom build anymore. I have trouble doing just plain models. The nerve damage in my fingers and the shakes, that's part of the problem with working with my Fowler Car System, is I have to do some tedious wiring underneath my table. I've got more wiring with my Fowler Car System than my entire train system. A little figure 8 of Fowler Track has more wires I have to run, and it's small wiring, and I spent 7 hours one day just setting up all the wiring for the Fowler car. It shouldn't be that difficult. I just have to take hand breaks every 20 minutes or 30 minutes. And now it's to the point where I start with the shakes and, okay, I have to walk away for a day. Oh my goodness, Brian. Brian, who is named Brian, welcome. It is nice to see you here, sir. Finnerton Central. Man, we used to talk all the time. Now I rarely see you. I know, and I know why. So don't take that as anything other than I just miss talking to you. Sort of like Barnabas. I come into his chat, live streams the last couple of times, and he looks at my name like, I don't know this name. I'm like, God, Jason, we used to talk a lot last year. Yeah, nobody's here now. So let's do the long run. And then we will immediately go, once he comes around, we'll go up the ramp. I mean, if I'm subscribed to your channel, you should know me because I don't ever not comment on videos. comment, 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 and I'm always nice. Got to see everybody up there. It's going to be quiet here, but in a moment we're going to see some business here. That's old age for me, I know, 56. Yeah, Brian, I saw you. We mentioned that on Facebook about that you're back at work and working a crap load of hours. That's my problem. I have been off work since March 23rd, and I will not be going back to work until August, middle of August. The only blessing in all of this is I am salaried. I get paid for the year. I am salaried. So whether I was at work working, and I did work from home in March, well, the end of March, April, and into early May, and then I was done. And so I've been furloughed since March 23rd, but I haven't worked where I've had to do any work since, and normally at this time of year, there's a lot of stuff I'd be doing, but nobody's doing it, right? So those of you get back to work, I know how hard it's been on you, so I don't complain. I complain that I'm bored. And that's about the happiest problem you can have with how many people, friends of mine that are out of work that don't know how they're going to pay their rent in the next week or month or their electric bill. Yeah, I know, Barnabas. I know, or Jason, I should call you Jason. Yeah, I know. Things happen, and it happens. Life happens, and when I'm across the pond, it's, I'll mention a different channel, and I love the channels, and rule number 3 of my rules is we never talk bad. We don't call out, criticize, or mock another channel. It's all love here. But anyhow, IC82 Will, I love his channel, and he was probably the very first channel I joined when I got into model trains 4.5 years ago. And he put out a lot of videos. He had the most subscriptions of anybody from the UK. And then all of a sudden, he stopped. I know why he stopped. But that didn't come out for a while. And over the last 3 years, his videos have been random. And he starts up again for a bit, and then he cuts back. Life gets in the way. Life got in the way of a lot of things for me for years and years and years. Now I have free time. Now I have too much free time. And I could have retired from work 2 years ago, but I'm hanging on because if I stay at work 2 more years, I get a bigger retirement. Now I still love my job, but it'd been nice to have retired and not had to have dealt with this as hard as we are. But again, for me, I lost a trip to Germany. That's all I lost in this. And I'm sitting around bored. Boo-hoo, I'm bored. John Dawson, take care. Thanks for stopping by. It is a pleasure always to see you, sir. Now, most people have, in America especially, since I'm in a climate-controlled basement, I know you guys in the UK, you're up in the lofts, it gets too hot, you can't go up there, it gets too cold, you don't want to go up there. I'm in climate-controlled basement. This should have been a perfect time for me to have been going crazy with my layout and really start working on it. Well, I kind of did. I finished my bus terminal, which I can't show with any of these cameras, including wiring it up with a digital system where I actually have the live Dumb and Horse bus schedule. It has the live Dumb and Horse bus schedule. You can go to my episode 37, 38 of the Model Train Outsider and see it in action. It's called Bus Stop Buzz. I don't memorize all my episodes, but it's a recent one. Model Train Outsider, not Miracle Outsider, Model Train Outsider. And you can see my the bus station. I'm very proud of it. But I also had 5 months where I couldn't do anything because of my back injury. Yeah, and I've seen that. I've seen that happen to people in this room. Your mojo burns out, to steal a phrase. You lose your mojo. When I screwed up my Fowler Car System 3 weeks ago after having it working and then screwing it up because I tried to upgrade it, I didn't want to come down here. Even though it was just a car system, I didn't want to be near my trains because the car system would be behind me calling me saying, fix me. And I was like, I don't even want to. I'm so mad. I'm so angry. And I actually did a live stream, and that kind of sparked me. And now I've done, this is live stream 7. Everybody was doing live streams. I didn't want to be left out. But I'm also bored. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through things. So I've seen your guys' videos where you talk about, and that's why I always say, if you start to lose your mojo, just come down and run your trains. Just do the trains. Ignore everything else. Don't think about anything else. Just run your trains and remember why you love the hobby. Now, if you can't run the trains because there's a point out or something like that, maybe you get a loop running, but just pick your favorite train and just watch it go. And I know, who am I to be given advice to when I've only been in the hobby a couple of years, but it's what gets it going. I know you're just staring at empty space right now, but it's about to get busy. Let's do station. We're going to have everybody coming in the station. You get about 2 minutes to change trains with an ICE. 2 minutes to get on or off. Germans, when they're not starting world wars, are very polite. Except when it comes time to get on an ICE. Then they will toss 85-year-old women on walkers out of the way. At the bus stop, it's please get on board, gnädige Frau. Please let me help you with the door there, gnädige Frau. But if it's an ICE and she's in the way, it's get out of the way, you dumb bitch. And they pick her up and toss her. Brian, what's new on my layout? I don't know how much you kept up with it. The bus. I have completely done the bus center, and I've been working on the Fowler Car System. Unfortunately, I don't have any camera that I can truly show it off. The Fowler Car System is working the way it was 3 weeks ago before I tried to upgrade it. I have to install some sensors to get the outer stuff working. So right now, and I don't have it set up where I can operate it from here yet. So I don't have a camera to show it. You can see it in the background of this picture. Yeah, my bus terminal. I'm very proud of my bus terminal. I just need another camera that I can shine just on the bus terminal along with the station, because it's really cool. Again, well, let me check let's go to the all view while I change pictures for a second. Let you guys see everything here. I'll look it up real quick. Anthony Dodge, the model train outsider, boring, stupid American yuts. Oh, I lost a subscriber. I'm still +3 for the day. I was up to 541. Now I'm down to 540. Jerk. Anyhow, let me see. What episode is it? Episode 40, the Fowler Car System update, is probably the best one to see the Fowler car in action. And then there's and then episode 37 is Bus Stop Buzz. So episode 37 and 40, I know they're half hours, but I have chapter breaks in the comments, so you can just, where I'm showing it off, and you can see the two things. Hey, Simon. Good night. Hopefully tomorrow you feel even better. Take care. I'll probably see you in the morning sometime on somebody's live feed. But, yeah, that's... Lost my train of thought there. Yeah, but that's what I've been doing. I am, what do you guys say over there? Chuffed. I know a lot of UK slang, but there's some I'm not... I'm chuffed with my bus terminal and the Fowler Car System running through it, especially when it's working properly. So that's what's new. I get one project done a year. And then I take the rest of the year off. So I figure I got about 80, 90 years before my layout's done. Yeah, I had... I mean, I don't know, because you were busy and you had things going on with you, especially when you were off work and now you're back to work full time. Back around Christmas time, I mangled my back really bad. And I spent 2 months where I could barely walk or not walk at all, and then had to go to therapy. And then right when I was getting better, I decided to do something stupid and completely re-injured the back and spent 2.5 months in therapy. And yeah, so it slowed me down. I could not sit in this chair. I'm still not supposed to sit in a chair the way I'm sitting here right now, leaned over. I'm not supposed to do that for more than 45 minutes. And I've been doing this for, about 2 hours now. Yes, Rachel, I saw Alan's new update. I like watching Alan. A, he's got a cool layout, and B, I love all his trains. No, you know, I don't like getting into comparisons of who's got it worse. I'm luckier than 85% of the people on the planet Earth. And the sad thing is I never have really, like, I needed back surgery and was in the hospital for 6 months or anything like that. No, I nailed my back, I pinched a nerve, and did some other damage that doesn't require surgery, but I'm just a big baby, I guess. But it did take about close to 5 months away from working on my layout. I went to work each day, and I couldn't even take pain pills while I'm at work, so I went to work each day and then would come home and pain pills and heating pads, and I couldn't even sleep in bed for a month. I had to sleep in a special chair in our living room, which is when I started getting addicted to everybody's YouTube feed. Hey, Kieran, you take care as well. Thank you again. Yeah, my family's probably wondering why I'm not up here preparing for dinner, but she hasn't come down and said anything yet. But I enjoy this. And I've still got 12 people here. People I like to see and talk to. Flying my Liverpool banner in the background, if you didn't see that yet. Well, this view, you can't see it. I don't know why it shows up in that picture. Well, I kind of do. Here comes that IC3 down the long run. But yeah, I was never diagnosed with as a kid. In kindergarten, they said I was autistic, but and that was 1968, when they didn't even really know what autism was. It just was a pat diagnosis. I had a kindergarten teacher say I was describe me as autistic because I was quiet, sat in a corner, didn't mingle with the other kids. And the reason was I was new to that school, and my dad already announced we were moving again in 3 months. I was like, even at age 5, I was like, why make friends? I'm not going to be here. We moved a lot when I was a kid, up until the age of 9. And then my parents moved into a house they still live in. So I lived in 5 houses between the time I was born to the time I was 5 or 6 houses up until the age of 9, and then my mom still lives in that house. Yeah, you guys are 11:30 over there in the UK. That was nice of you. Got a lot of business happening through there. Now the 11-lane view. See, this is what I love, guys. This is my ADD here, ADHD. It's not right to some people. You shouldn't have 4 trains passing each other like that, or 5 trains. I do, and I love it. But now it's empty. What do I do? Yeah, 2 are at the station. And coming at you in the ramp here for the long view. But anyhow, that's and I usually trade 1 or 2 trains out every time I do a live stream. I did not plan on having 7 live streams over a 2-week period, but I'm housebound with this heat and humidity. I just don't go out. I go out in the morning, like on Tuesdays and Thursdays. My wife and I get up really early in the morning, like 6 a.m., and we go play tennis at the park up the street from us, where they got a tennis court. Nobody else uses it because it's a piece of crap, but we play. And whoops. Oh, missed it. Oh well, let's just go to long view again. Or the alt view. Well, hello, Richard Watson. Nice of you to join us for a minute or two. But yeah, I try to trade up a train or 2. You'll usually see my Railjet and my ICE because, well, they're my favorites. And no, you don't see progress usually on my layout. That's usually once or twice a year I actually set up something that I'm actually working on. And again, I'm trying to finish my Fowler Car System and get it 100% automated. 2 step forwards, 2 steps back, and then 1 step forward. But just running German trains, which, unless you go to Germany, you don't see. So I'm just an American running German trains who hangs out on a bunch of UK double O gauge and N gauge channels. There's a lot of things that might be missing. I actually am buying. I am buying that new, or retooled, whatever you want to call it. I am buying the Hornby Eurostar Beatles Yellow Submarine, the full kit. I am buying that, and then I got to send it out and have it converted to AC. But I am going to have that 00 train on this layout someday. got a pre-order into Hatton's for it. So and it's supposed to be out soon. I have toyed with, because Miraklin just released a whole bunch of Class 66s. Unfortunately, I have one freight train, and that's probably my limit. But there's a couple of, like, there's a Dutch one that Miraklin just released that is gorgeous as a Class 66. And then there's a, I can't think of the German company that uses them right now. Their initials are HK. But they're used in the Cologne area a lot. The Cologne area is. Well, GWR, I'm biased. I'm a huge Beatles geek, Beatles fan. Although, we talked about this last time we talked about music, but my other geek, if you didn't catch that, if you recognize this symbol, you are cool. Whether you like it or not is different. But if you recognize this symbol, you are cool. Now I just stretched my shirt out. But actually, this shirt's not too big for me. I've lost so much weight recently that some of my favorite shirts are now too big. I have to go down a size. HGK, that's it, Andrew. HGK, thank you. That's the one. Now, the funny thing is, in 00 scale, you have a bunch of DB Schenker red ones, which I'm a big DB Deutsche Bahn fan. I just haven't seen a DB Schenker one in Germany. I have seen a couple of, well, I don't know if I've seen pictures of them, let's put it that way, of the HGK and the Dutch one, and Miraklin just released them, but I have not seen them live. And you got to remember, one of my personal rules, which keeps the bank account happier, is I don't buy a train unless I've ridden on it, and then my wife bought me a freight train. And I've never ridden on a freight train, but she decided I needed a freight train. And if your wife is going to buy you a locomotive and cars, you don't discourage her. You don't say, no, honey, that's all right. And she did it as a surprise. She wanted to buy me a train, and she knew how the German numbering system worked with trains. Pascal, I would always encourage people to go Miraklin. I would convert the world to Miraklin and hope they gave me some money in return for it. I basically pimp myself out here. Half my subscriptions, I'm now up to 540 subscriptions, which amazes me, absolutely amazes me. Now, again, about a third of them are friends and family. A third of them are polite subscriptions. You subscribe to my channel, I'll subscribe to yours. And then the other third or so, maybe as many as 200, are people into Miraklin. They tune into my channel just to see my Miraklin shows. They don't watch my crazy shows. They come in to watch the Miraklin stuff and see what I'm doing with Miraklin. And I've got a backlog of requests people want me to do to show them how to do things on the Central Station 3, but they want it in English, because Miraklin only releases their information in German. So I have guys that are Danish and Dutch and French and Belgian and Icelandic and Norwegian and Swedish and Italian, and they want it in English. So they turn into my channel, and I'm like, I'm the least fit person to be explaining Miraklin, but I'm the only guy that's got a true Miraklin channel showing Miraklin track, Miraklin trains, the Miraklin system. And so they've flocked to my channel. You hate it, but you have 40 of them. Whoo! I think the Class 66 is one of those, you either love it or hate it. There's no middle ground. I think they look cool, especially in the liveries I've seen from Miraklin. And the DB Schenker livery that I've seen in 00 gauge. But I even started, I started this channel just to train people. And originally all I did was film my trains in action, put them on, and nobody cared. And then my wife said, after watching one of Richard Watson's first videos, New Junction, he's sick of hearing that story. She said, why don't you do that? Just put out a video and say, here's what you're trying to do, and blah, blah, blah. And I did, and a lot of cousins and friends subscribed, and then people I didn't know subscribed, and then people I was meeting in the UK, or meeting on the internet from the UK, subscribed. And, the whole Ghost of 2015, most people don't get that. They don't understand what that's about. I've had many people ask me, why do you do that stupid stuff? It's for friends and family. It is a running joke in my family. They laugh, we laugh, and there are some people that love the Ghost of 2015 storyline. And there's more to come. There is a very hilarious show that my wife and I have started filming about the Ghost of 2015 that we'll be posting hopefully within the next 2-3 weeks. It's going to be something wild. Let's see. Motorhead I loved Lemmy. Metallica is hit and miss with me. Meatloaf, a lot of misses. Guns N' Roses were good their first 2 albums. And then Axl Rose got too big for himself. But that's my opinion. That's my opinion. I'm sort of old school heavy metal or heavy hard rock. But yeah. So, yeah, that's... but it's nice. I mean, Tim at FMR, Tim Wells there, he started those live chats back in April. Those daily live chats. And for a lot of us, especially me, it was a blessing. It broke the monotony of being trapped in the house, going nowhere. Of course, I would, after his live streams, I'd spend 8 hours working from home, but it broke the monotony. Starting to slow this all down a bit. So what he did, and I got bored 2 weeks ago. I had OSB for doing multi-views of my layout on my laptop here. And it's one click and I'm streaming. So I came down here one day and saw the start streaming button, and I clicked start streaming, and all of a sudden there were 25 people saying hi to me. And so now everybody does. And so Rachel does a live stream, I'm in there, and I will admit there are times where I'm watching 2, sometimes even 3 live streams. And I know some of you do that as well. Hint, hint. And yeah, I like to say hi to everybody. And sometimes I talk too much, sometimes I don't say anything, but it's my live stream here, so I talk nonstop. But, this is one of the things I had to live with, is by putting my station where I did. I was talking with this last stream with David Cottesmore, David Jones. I talked about this with him, that my platforms are not proper length to fit my station here. Those people just got whiplash on that stop. But yeah, these guys, boy, it gets quiet when that ICE finally slows down. But we are bringing everybody down to a stop here because my wife is signaling dinner is about ready. Some more thunder. Oops. All right, one more loop for the Czech railjet. I do love the two railjets. I don't know which one's prettier. It's weird. I tend to refer to my trains as male. Man, but at the same time I use feminine beauty terms. He's pretty. All right. I vowed to never make monkey jokes about David Jones. I have resisted it all these years. I never did. Nor did I make any of the locker jokes and undersea jokes. I've resisted that temptation, and trust me, making puns and jokes is a heroin thing for me. I'm a junkie. Resisting it is impossible. And yet I've been able to do it. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everybody who popped in today. I can't believe that 2.5 hours later, people are still here and have actually tuned in multiple times. But yeah, if I'm bored, I just pop on. I try not to overlap anybody else's, but apparently I'm overlapping Community Roundhouse, I think it's called, or whatever it is. But I'm not subscribed to that channel, so I didn't know. But there it is. Kraftwerk. I actually have 2 Kraftwerk vinyls somewhere in this house, somewhere. But anyhow, I'm going to be signing off here. I want to thank again everybody, and hopefully I'll see you in your streams or on your videos. Take care, and if you're bored and see that I'm bored and on, stop in, say hello. Again, you'll just see my same old trains run around the same old loops of track, but I always enjoy the chat, or you can entertain each other. Now, it's a little late for Rachel now. Then again, maybe she'll do a late night session. I almost did that. I got up one night at 2 a.m. and said, I wonder if I should just go live, which would have been 7 a.m. UK time. So again, for the third time, I'm going to say, ciao, auf Wiedersehen, tschüss, goodbye everyone, happy trains, and we'll catch you on the next stream.